is up, hotties? Welcome back to another episode of Stay Hot. I'm Blaiden and joined as always by my two favorite co-hosts of all time, Matthew Sponhour and Theo Ash. And if you can't tell by the jerseys that Theo and I are wearing, well, if you're listening on like Spotify or Apple Music or Apple Podcast, you're not gonna know. But Theo and I are wearing Patriots jerseys because we're talking about the AFC East today. We're going through our division predictions. We've gone through 6 out of the 8. We've got to get through the AFC East and the AFC West. And today we're talking about the Patriots, the Bills, the Jets, and the Dolphins. But before we get into that, Matt, Theo, we've had preseason football going on. How have you guys enjoyed it so far?
I've had a horrible time.
He's had a horrible time.
No fun at all.
No fun.
This is okay. It was good. Shador's masterclass lived up to the hype. What's he doing in the 5th round, Matt?
Well, that's Blaiden's guy. Blaiden, what'd you think?
I think he looked a little starry. No, he looked fine, I guess. The average time to throw being like 3.4 seconds really sticks out as like, oh, so it's definitely like the Panthers defensive line like has no juice at all, like especially like once you get past like the first group of guys.
The Panthers defense tax still applies.
I think to some extent it does. But he made some okay throws. The touchdown was kind of cool, even though it like lollipopped through the air.
I don't think it lollipop. I mean, it didn't have a ton
entirely. It didn't lollipop.
It was a little.
It wasn't lollipop. It was that throw. The first one. That throw was. It was
an accurate throw. It was a money throw, but it was just like, I don't know. I'd like to see a little more zip on it, you know.
I guess. I think
there can always be a little more zip.
Lollipop is a little harsh. But
I thought he played all right. I mean,
he played fine.
He had some moments where he like tried to quadruple back and couldn't do it, but he also had some moments where he stepped up like in pressure and made a throw anyway. And he had some inaccuracies. He had a couple of dumb incompletions and a couple of poorly placed ball, but he also had a couple of throws that he was able to make like real NFL reads on and complete them because they were so accurate. So I think you take the good a little bit more seriously than the bad here, honestly, when you're talking about a guy who I think needs to work through some maybe not so great tendencies. So I liked it in general, albeit it was like almost 3/4 of a preseason game, so don't take it too strongly.
Yeah, and he started 3 for 7 for 19 yards. And then there was a point where he was 8 for 11 for 84 yards and 2 touchdowns. So,
right.
Yep.
You know, you start looking at decent, and then the backup platoon comes in and you start cooking with a really long time to throw. It was promising. I thought he looked good as well, but
it's promising when the Browns quarterback situation is looking like it could be one of the worst in the NFL again this year. But I've seen a lot of people say that this is sort of a lose-lose scenario. Like, even if Shador looks good, then the Browns might feel like they have to start him week 1. And as we all know, the Browns' first 6 games are against like the absolute best teams in the NFL.
I was told Shador was being set up to fail when they.
I was told that too.
This is all a long con to kill his career, according to RG3.
They may as well give him and Gabriel enough reps so you can just call it this season. Right. That's my thought. I mean, if people want to say like in the media, like it's got to be Shador when like Flacco or whoever inevitably starts week 1 because, you know, they're going to roll out with a vet, I would bet. Like, does it really even matter? I don't think so. Like, not really. The team's screwed anyway. This isn't going to be a good team. They're going to roll out with a vet early because they can't tell themselves week 1, well, we suck anyway, so we might as well throw out the rookie. That's not how teams work. They'll go through those first 5-6 games or whatever, I bet, and then they'll, you know, they probably won't be that good. They might be 0-6 at that point or 1-5 or something not that good. And if Flacco starts to play really bad, then they'll throw out Shador or Gabriel or whoever's next on the depth chart. If they go to like Kenny Pickett and then Huntley after that, and they're just completely out of it for the season and they don't see what they have, then I'm complaining. But outside of that, who cares?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yesterday, I'm changing the subject. I'm changing the subject.
No, yeah, go for it. I was going to ask how your day is.
Yesterday, I put this glass on top of a fruit fly that was crawling on the table to trap him. Okay. This morning, I wake up and the fruit fly is in the water.
Mm-hmm.
How?
How it got out from under the glass and then flew up around and into the water. I'm 1,000% certain that is.
I'm not sure he didn't teleport through the plastic. We got the Houdini fly.
If it's just plastic.
You see,
yeah, that's definitely what happened. This is a plastic. This is like a restaurant cup. This is like a diner cup.
What do you think? He like chewed through the plastic? And
I think he phased, dude. I think he phased through a state of matter, bro.
It's like the 1 in quintillion chance of like phasing through a solid object.
It was a miracle I witnessed this morning. I couldn't believe my eyes.
Blaiden, you said I had the worst food take you've ever seen when I said I like muffins more than donuts on Twitter the other day.
I didn't say it's the worst food take I've ever seen. I said it might be your worst take yet.
Basically the same thing.
I just think, like, in terms of breakfast pastries, outside of like pancakes, French toast, waffles, like if we're doing like donuts, bagels,
not pastries,
muffins.
Yeah, those are different. A donut and a bagel cannot be compared.
Excluding eggs.
Breakfast breads. Is that better?
I like pastries. I think a donut and a muffin is a pastry, and a bagel is not.
Right.
Okay. Right. But like bagels are eaten kind of in the same context.
Sweet breakfast treats.
Sweet breakfast treats. Not including pancakes, French toast, waffles, stuff like that. Between bagels, entrees, muffins, and donuts, quick snack breakfasts, maybe we call them. I feel like donuts are easily the best. And I don't know, I just feel like muffins are oftentimes a little too, they're like the dry cousin of a cupcake, and I don't really like cupcakes. So like maybe that explains it. And then I think bagels are just too dense.
Bagel does not belong in this conversation at all, by the way.
I'm giving bagel an unfair, like,
unless you're coating the bagel in frosting, then maybe it does. But if it's
I can agree that on like sort of some level, like a muffin is to a cupcake what a donut is to a bagel. Like I guess I can see that sort of, but not really, because a muffin's still sweet and a bagel isn't necessarily, although it can be.
It can be.
I mean, to be real with you, if I could pick one, I'm going bagel over muffin and donut pretty easily. Like if I could only have one for the rest of my life, it'd be no doubter bagel. But like I think muffins aren't inherently dry. I think you're judging muffins poorly. Whereas I think donuts are much more likely to be too sweet for breakfast. They're not bad or anything, but like big like chocolate glazed, like dude, I cannot start 9 a.m. off like
with the filling too, like half of them.
Okay, but now you're judging donuts off like the most extreme donut you can imagine.
No, I'm not. I'm saying the most common type of donut is glazed. The standard donut is glazed.
You said chocolate glaze, and then Theo said with the filling, like. I'm just saying, like a glazed donut. We're saying a glazed donut.
Okay, I could just say a donut is dry. I could just say a donut is dry. That's you just said like it's be like if I called like, well, donuts are burnt. Donuts can be burnt, but then they're made poorly. If I'm saying I don't like donuts because the glazing is too much for breakfast, that's far, far more in range of what the average donut is. And many people
the glazing
like
is fine.
Them. The glazing, there's chocolate ones. I think that's way more in line than just saying all muffins are dry. They're not.
All muffins are dense, and a donut is kind of light.
Yeah,
And,
dry might be the wrong word. A muffin is a more dense. It's more dense than a cupcake, even, and it's definitely more dense than a donut, which is light and airy.
Cupcake is a completely different matter altogether.
I'm trying to give like a batter comparison here.
Mm-hmm.
Cupcakes are truly a bottom tier dessert too.
I agree.
I can agree with you on that. Way too much. It's just all icing, man, and it's a pain in the ass to eat.
Yes.
It's not that they're bad, of course. Like, I'll eat anything like a dog, right? I mean, if it's sweet and it's just like bread, that's fine.
This is true. Matt used to yell at me when he'd come over to my apartment in college. He's like, "Dude, you got to get these snacks out of here."
Dude, I mean, it's, yeah, you just have like, you're just one of those guys where it's like you can just have like candy around and you'll just have it in like a bowl and this place. Like, dude, I'm going to have like 50 of these, man. Regardless.
Lifesaver gummies.
Here's the thing, like Lifesaver gummies, the thing that's so funny about that is that Lifesaver gummies, there's like F tier candy. What do you, like gummy anything honestly sucks. But like, I would still absolutely, like Lifesaver gummies is hardly a step above like Krabby Patty gummy that you get on Halloween. That's like,
the Krabby Patty gummy was fire though, you have to admit.
No, it was not.
Oh,
absolutely not.
Tear it up live. What is the quote?
There's absolutely no way that I mean I think gummy stuff in general is overrated, but you and me Blaiden have very different candy.
That's true. You like cowtails.
Yeah, right.
Cowtails are better than anything gummy. Come on. You like nerds. Yes.
Nerds are good.
No, they're not. It's just sugar. Anything chocolate is better than that. Basically, I mean, so few fruit candies are really worth the better than chocolate, I'll say. Again, I'm taking this from somebody who will eat all of it regardless. It doesn't have to be any good.
It doesn't have to be good. I only eat it if it's good. And I typically only eat like the cherry or the strawberry, like the red ones.
If I don't love it, I don't swallow.
Didn't you have some real fucked up favorite candies, by the way, Theo?
No, my favorite candies are normal.
You said like
every accusation.
It says nothing about me. You're the weird one. Yeah. And the comments agree. And the comments are all about how weird.
My favorite candies are like
Sweet,
Sour Patch
dude.
Kids and like Snickers and like a Twix. Like no one has
too much.
with these.
Twix is good.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I'll eat all the peach rings. You absolutely, the peach rings you absolutely had. No,
that's a bad take.
Peach rings are worse
take.
than cowtails easily.
No one would know because no one's ever had a cowtail.
I've never had a cowtail.
Plenty of people. Plenty of people we've had cowtails, and the comments are going crazy about this too. What are the odds, bro? They're saying I'm winning. They're saying I'm up.
Have eaten cowtails.
We've all had cowtails, says Matthew.
I've never even seen a cowtail.
Now that I find hard to believe.
Yeah,
You've never been to like a gas station?
There's no
They don't
way.
got them at gas stations, bro.
Dude,
They don't got them at gas stations.
They have them at the liquor store by me. They're really not that uncommon.
Matt goes to the liquor store and gets
Only in Ohio, bro. Ohio.
No, this is in Kentucky. You're wrong.
Oh, good. Come on.
Oh,
You've been debunked. You've been completely debunked.
Debunked. The influence of Ohio does extend over the border at least 100 yards, and I know that you live right on the river.
I'm pretty sure Matt lives over 100 yards. I think Matt lives over 100 yards past.
He's still in the Ohio sphere of influence. I don't care.
It's possible,
but
it's entirely possible.
Yeah.
Do we want to
talk about
the
the
AFC East?
AFC East. I almost said NFC East. We already talked about them.
What team do you want to start with?
We should probably talk about the Bills first, right? I mean, they're the favorite to win this division. They have Josh Allen. Is there any reason to believe that they won't win this division at all?
No.
Nope.
There is absolutely no chance they lose this division.
Would you bet your life on it, Theo?
Wouldn't.
Yes.
Now they're gonna lose it.
These are bad bets, bro. You're not getting anything in return. I mean, barring like a Josh Allen injury or like, I don't know, maybe the defense like having 5 major injuries, like something completely crazy that could happen to anybody. No, the Bills are not going to lose this division. I think offensively they've found a way to be good in both assets of the game, right? Or they're great through the air because Allen's an MVP level player, even if their receiving core is really only like serviceable and not much more than that, I think, unless Keon Coleman takes a big jump. And the run game's really good because they got a bunch of powerful guys and they bring in the 6th dude, and Allen obviously is tough to deal with and you have to pay attention to him, and Cook's a good player. So I think the offense will be back to, I don't know what they ranked last year. But yeah, I'm seeing them as second in EPA per play. Yeah. So they were like a top 5 offense, and they probably will be again off the back of an offensive line that can get work done and a quarterback who is legendarily good right now. Defensively, we'll see.
Right. I mean, the top 4 teams right now in terms of Super Bowl odds are, I don't know the exact order right now, but it's Buffalo, Baltimore, Philly, and Kansas City. What has to go right for Buffalo if they want to be the team to really come out of that group? Because I think we're all in agreement that those are the 4 best teams.
Yeah. I mean, the Bills, according to the FTN Almanac, there has never been a team that has been better over a 5-year period without making it to the Super Bowl, either by total wins or by average DVOA. So this is
genuinely one of the most due teams of all time.
The most due team of all time. The best team to not make a Super Bowl. They've won, or not to get to the Super Bowl, win the conference, right? They've won 61 games over the last 5 years. And to get there this year, I think the defense has to be better. They were one of the worst defenses against playoff teams last year. They allowed 40 to the Lions. They allowed 30 to the Chiefs in the playoffs. They allowed a bunch to the Ravens. What was the final score of that game? It was 35-10 in week 4.
What was that Rams game too?
The Rams game where they allowed 44 and lost. They allowed 28 points per game to the playoff teams, including the playoffs. And that's helped a lot by the 7-point Denver performance in the wild card round, right? Other than that, you would need to be banking on Josh to score like 40 for them to make it to the Super Bowl. And
which is not impossible.
It's not impossible, but it's hard in the playoffs, man. Like Rodgers could have scored. Rodgers has 1 ring because he can't score 40 every playoff game. He may do it 2 playoff games. Can't do it, all the way through and win the Super Bowl. So what needs to happen is they just need to hit on their draft picks, Matt. Because they picked 4 defensive players in the first 4
completely reasonable.
picks.
They are completely tapped out in terms of like their salary and whatnot. They have been aggressive and they haven't made the Super Bowl yet. And the only way to dig yourself out of that is to just nail some draft picks and change where the team is without spending a ton of money. That's what you have to do.
Frankly, and they need to nail the Joey Bosa signing. Yeah, that is their big one.
Yeah, the Bosa signing's big. I think there's some level of like the linebackers have been kind of up and down for them in terms of health and in terms of play. So I think that's a big swing factor just with guys who have already been on the team. And if you get like, the best version of Bosa and the linebackers return to form a little bit with Milano or whatnot, okay, you got a pretty daunting front 7 overall. But even then, do you really trust the secondary that much? Benford's a good player, but outside of that, I don't. And Hairston was not a cornerback that I was the absolute highest on, but he is a crazy athlete, so we'll see how that goes.
He's a ball hawk.
My feeling, he's a ball hawk. He can make some plays. My feeling is that they might be a tick better against the pass, but they'll probably still be around league average. And when we're looking for weaknesses compared to like the Ravens, I think that's bigger than anything Baltimore's dealing with. I don't like them over.
Well, except for Daniel Falele.
That's true, but that's a one guy.
Yeah, no, but
more than an entire unit or an entire phase of the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I will. The Bills do have arguably the best offensive line in the sport. They've allowed the fewest sacks 2 straight years now. Or is it the lowest sack rate? Regardless.
I've seen a lot of Bills fans say that they actually think their offensive line is a little bit overrated because of how good Josh Allen is at making the offense.
I mean, there's obviously some level to having Josh Allen makes it easier to not allow.
Yeah, definitely. But they also will just mash you in the run game. I mean, I remember that Ravens divisional round, right? That whole first half, they were able to just pound it with James Cook and against a number one run defense and grow a lead that was big enough that they could defend it to the end, although it definitely got dicey there for a second. I think they can do it any year. I do prefer the Ravens over them slightly because I do like the Ravens defense a little bit more. And I think the offense is at a similar level. I think the receiving core will be a little bit better this time around than last year because I truly think Amari Cooper was just washed last season and he was arguably their wide receiver 1. There is a reason he is not signed right now. Like he just looked really slow and struggled to catch the football at times, although he had some great catches for the Bills, not for the Browns. But I think even if it's Palmer replacing him, that's probably a better situation with another year of growth for Keon Coleman, and hopefully Shakir is on the field a little bit more.
But I think that's marginal at best.
Marginal
I really
at best,
do.
yeah.
I still think anybody other than one of the big 3 quarterbacking for the Bills, and you'd be having a bigger conversation about this receiving unit as a whole.
Yeah,
it's really not that good. It just isn't. It's not enough to stop them from having a great passing game, so I don't ding them too much for it. But like, if they had truly like good receivers, this would be an entirely
it's not some
we're going for all time
disaster compared to the Chiefs or the Ravens, right?
Yeah, there's been times where Kansas City has been like truly an unworkable disaster. I don't think the Bills are that at all. I think they have many more like league average receivers, and Shakir's a good player. Don't get me wrong. But Coleman is unproven. Palmer is kind of just a guy. I mean, he's not that far removed from being part of the excuse for Justin Herbert, right?
Yeah.
And your outside dudes are probably more important than your slot guys, even though respect slot guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all fair. Keon, we'll see how it goes. I'm excited about Coleman still though, because he was a 21-year-old. He was a really young rookie. And I think there's still meat on the bone with him. I think that he's got a better chance to grow than maybe some other rookies, just because of the offense he's in and how young he is. And
yeah, I mean, he had 9.8 yards per target last year. So like, that's really the only like standout stat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I know there was always some talk about. I feel like people don't talk about it as much anymore. But like receivers that like have really high yards per target numbers in like their early years are like more likely to break out.
Sure, it's good to be efficient. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I do have some question about how many, like, what are his yards per route run look like versus maybe some other younger receivers get these high yards per target because they're not seeing the field as much. Whereas Coleman, maybe his separation numbers aren't that great. So it's more of like, we're going to give him a contested catch look here. And he's good at that, but that makes him maybe more of like a utility guy rather than like a straight up dominant player. Right. But I think, again, he's only 21. Like, there's definitely some meat on the bone, but I don't think he showed enough last year where I'm like, for sure we're getting something crazy this season.
He had a 51% catch rate when targeted, which is really, really low, but he still had a positive DVOA when targeted. So he was doing a lot with what he caught. He just, if it's a coin flip on whether he catches it or not, it is a little bit.
There's only so much use that they can have. Like, there's a difference between being a guy who can win jump balls and being a guy who just gets open and you can throw it to him. And obviously.
Yeah, his yards per route run was 6th among rookies last season.
It's not
1.55. So it's right below like Neighbors, Coker, and Harrison, but right above Mitchell, Worthy, and Pearsall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they lost Hollins, and Hollins was a good player for them last year. But
He's also
regardless,
picked
they
up
will be
star.
winning this division, and it's just a question on if they can beat the Chiefs, I guess.
Yeah.
I'd say my optimistic look for them is that their division is really easy, and because of that, maybe they can be the 1 seed this year.
Totally.
And being the 1 seed is super, super important, I think, in the AFC. You want to be the team that only has to play one of the Ravens or the Chiefs. You don't want to be the team that has to play both. Two of them have to play both. They're like, I mean, we don't know exactly what's going to happen, injuries and blah, 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 but you can kind of feel like in a normal year, it's Chiefs, Ravens, Bills, 1, 2, 3, right?
Yeah.
So if you get the bye, you not only get the bye, but then you avoid multiple really tough matchups. And I mean, like, I don't like the Bills quite as much as the Ravens, but it's certainly within like the variance of a regular game, of course. So
Yeah, like last year, we didn't like the Bills as much as the Ravens, and nor should have anyone. I mean, I think the Ravens were one of the best regular season teams of all time last year, and the Bills were not. And the Bills still won. So anything can happen with the Bills.
Have the Bills have not been the 1 seed ever with Josh Allen, have they?
I don't think so.
Ooh, I don't think, yeah.
And
I think
that
it's
might
mostly been
like
Kansas City.
It's mostly been Kansas City and it's been Baltimore a few times.
And I think it was Tennessee one time while Allen was there. That might be the year before Allen really became Allen. No, I don't think so. That was like 21 or something, right?
Their 2 seed last year was the highest that they've been.
Yeah.
And that Tannehill year, Josh Allen should have been Josh Allen because 2020 was his breakout. So
right.
Yeah, that certainly would be a big key for them to win the whole thing, would be getting the 1 seed, which is very, 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 very possible. Like, I don't think they're going to lose.
I think you should have added a few more varies. Just
very. I mean, we were talking on this podcast about who has the best record against the Bills in this division. It's like the Patriots, and they've won like 3 times in the last 5 years or something.
Right, and this not to spoil the rest of the episode, but we're not quite as bullish on the rest of the division as we are the Bills. It is kind of a bleak overall outlook. That being said, assuming the 3 of us have the Bills at 1, I do want to talk a little bit about the Patriots because we've talked about them before, and I'll be real with you. I swear on my life, this is not because of the preseason game and has nothing to do with the preseason game. I prepared for this episode on Thursday.
Yeah.
But I am actually a little bit more bought in to the Patriots now. Are they going to go make the playoffs? Might be a little rich, but I think they added a good coach. I think they have a good quarterback. I think Drake May has a chance to be really pretty dang good. I really don't know if the receivers are going to be crazy, but I do buy into like Kyle Williams being a factor relatively soon. I think Diggs can be all right. I think they're going to get up to a serviceable level there. Henderson will be a weapon. And defensively, I mean, they could be a really great defense, honestly.
I don't know about a really great defense at all.
No?
No.
Yeah, I think their defensive line doesn't have a true star, but does have guys who can go out and win 1 through 4. Like, I'm a fan of Keon White, Barmore, and Williams. Williams is a big-time addition. That is,
they were without Barmore last year. I think that's huge.
And Landry as well. Like, they've got guys. It's not going to be just a totally dead pass rush. I feel confident in that. And then they've got, I think the cornerback room to be threatening. Gonzalez could very easily, like we talked about it earlier, any given year Gonzalez could break out as like the cornerback of the NFL. I don't know if I'm going to say like that will happen, but I also don't know if it needs to for the Patriots to be like a very good defense.
I'll say this. The Patriots are at over under 8.5.
I mean,
It's way
that's
too high.
still
Just way too
it's still
high.
rich. That's still rich for me, but like, can they finish second in this division? And I think I'm going to place them there.
My question is, like, what point in the rebuild are we at? I'm thinking about the Lions when I say that. There is a point when they had Goff, they had Campbell, they had Amon-Ra. They had a lot of, not all of the pieces, but some of the pieces that now make them the most one of the most dominant teams in the league. But that first year with Campbell, it was, they went from 5 wins to 3 wins. The rebuild hadn't really taken hold yet. They needed to draft more studs. They needed Aiden Hutchinson, like that 1A pass rusher. The culture was starting to change, but they needed a talent infusion. And I just wonder if that's where we're at with the Patriots right now. And this is still a little bit of the before
they've
picture.
worked quite hard to look. I mean, like on some level, it's the before picture. I'm not even picking them to make the playoffs. So like, right. I don't disagree that.
I guess obviously it's the before picture because they just like are this year
right,
one of the rebuild. But
did
like,
they not kind of infuse some talent? I mean,
did.
Landry, Williams, Diggs, Carlton's. Like they went and added serious pieces. Now, I don't know if you can make the argument that they don't have enough like true stars. And they added some really great players in the draft who I think will contribute early. So it's hard for me to sit here and say, yeah, I like the head coach. Yeah, I like the quarterback. Yeah, I think maybe some of their signings are a little bit rich for my blood, but at the end of the day, the salary does not play on Sundays. The players do, right? Yeah, I think that the additions that they had will matter. Yeah, I liked their draft, but I don't think it's going to translate into any wins. It is. It absolutely should. I think it will.
Yeah, I think it will too. I mean, I don't think they're going to go 3 I don't think they're going to win 3 games like the 2021 Lions did. I think they're probably farther along than that team was. But for the over under to be at 8.5, like, man, I don't think they're
that's high. I'm feeling rich. Honestly, it's probably a good line because I've been thinking they're probably about 8 wins. Like, I don't have the balls to say they're going to win 9, but
I think they're 8 and more like 7.5. And maybe there's some level of like Patriots bump because, popular team or whatever. It's not impossible.
Yeah.
But I do buy into just too much that they've done to say that in a weak division there's not going to be significant improvement. 4 games, very possible.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I like May. I like Will Campbell. I like Mike Vrabel, I think.
Yeah, you like May, you like Will Campbell, you like Vrabel. They got your Georgeson. They got Jared Wilson.
They got Jared
Wilson.
I like Travion Henderson, and he just took a touchdown to the house on his first touch, shot out.
I like Kyle Williams, and this is about the preseason. He was absolutely cooking. He's going to be good.
That route at the
goal line was baller.
Nasty.
He's just a baller, man. Guys who are twitched up like that are ballers every time, man. I'm sorry. I'm victory lap.
Darnell.
No, you're
just like
I don't think you're wrong,
Mooney
man.
had
I'm like
1K. Mooney, not a bad player.
Yeah, I guess he did have that 1,000-yard season.
Yeah, 1K.
And he didn't hook Jalen Ramsey that way.
He almost has had 2 at this point.
Yeah. Respect Mooney.
There were 2 seasons after that 1,000-yard season where he was
Bears tax, not his fault.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I look at the Patriots and I'm like, dude, they were a bottom 3 defense in both EPA and success rate last year. I think they'll be better than that. Like, I'm not saying they'll be top 10, but I think they can get.
There's no way they're anywhere close to a top 10 defense. I think.
I don't think they'll be there, but like, I think they can get to like league average or close to it. And like, I think the offense is going to make a massive improvement. The offensive line is way better than it was a year ago. Like, yes, like Matt said, they overpaid for some guys, but like, I mean, the offensive line last year was terrible. Stevenson wasn't good. Like the running backs were just an absolute joke, and they had no receivers. Like, I just find it. I can't imagine a world where this team isn't significantly better, and not, yeah, like Matt said, not that they'll make the playoffs, but they can win 8 games.
And if their offensive line was steady, or they did have like big time surefire weapons, then we would be talking playoffs. I think we are dinging them pretty healthily here, but there's just too many guys. There's just too many guys that I do believe in not to give them some love here. Now, there's a bunch of ways that it could also go in disaster. The easiest of which is that, like, if the offensive line rookies are bad and then, like, Moses goes down or something, and the offensive line can sort of return to total disaster. But even then, I don't think it'll be as bad as it was last year, just off the fact that the receivers aren't. I mean, Drake May was sitting on, like, one of the worst situations that a quarterback. I mean, truly,
100%.
nothing.
100%.
It's one of the
And the
worst I've
thing
ever
is, the
seen.
thing is that we've forgotten that because he did not have a season that represented how bad that supporting cast was. But if May had gone out there and had, like 20 interceptions or taken like 70 sacks, you would have been like, not a great indicator, but look what he was
Right.
working with. But May played at a relatively decent level. He played at a very good level for a rookie in that world. So I think that has kind of made it easy to forget just how rough it was. And I do believe there's some level of like just progressing to even mediocre or average that will change things for him. And I do think they've gotten a couple of guys who are at least steady, and I'm excited about the rookie playmakers that they've got. I just am.
Yeah. Steadier is a good way to describe, I think, the guys that they added this offseason. Like, I don't think Milton Williams is a star. I don't think that he's, deserves a spot on the top 100 list. Same with Carlton Davis. He's solid. He's a good man corner. But, is he a superstar?
But he's Will corner
Campbell
too,
He
like he's a pretty dang good corner too, actually.
Mm-hmm. Harold Landry's a good run defender.
Their secondary is, I think, quite good.
My question is, I guess, how much do you believe in May? If you believe that May is a good quarterback, like because we were hype about May.
Yeah.
In the pre-draft process, I'm hype about May now. I don't think we've seen anything to make us any less hype about it. I think he's in a better situation and a year older. I think we should expect significantly better play. I don't see it doesn't make any sense with what we think about him.
Well, I'm hype about May, but I'm not hype about Diggs and Kyle Williams and
Yeah, but you don't need to be hype about Diggs to make him better than like Keyshawn Booty, dude. Like,
right, like we're talking about a step from a prospect that we liked, and a step from his supporting cast that's serious, and a step from the defense in a lot of different ways in terms of like having a defensive line that's deeper and potentially having like a really good cornerback room and stuff like that. And I'm saying that the team's overall record will also take a step, not be all the way, but take a big step. I think that's fair. Now, if
they're still a year away.
If you want to say like they're third in the division, and I think the Dolphins are healthier and their offense will be better, and I like the defensive line, and we'll get into that. Okay, like I'm fine with that. I don't think they have to be that high. I don't think you have to be sitting here saying they're going to have a winning record or anything. Like that's definitely a little bit like maybe over optimistic for me, but it's not impossible. And I think it's hard for me to sit here and say this is a 5-win team when there's some other teams out here who are really bad.
Matt, I like your point about if May had the type of season where 20 interception, a billion sack, like we would be sitting here doing the like not his fault, like cut him some slack. We'd be playing,
and on some level we are, but not to the level. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's obviously not his fault. Like it's always valid to say not his
but
fault.
like we don't have to defend him to the level that like how much defense have we been doing for like Anthony Richardson or Caleb Williams or Justin Herbert?
Right.
Because May just had a pretty good year. And considering he was a rookie and considering the offense around him. Look, there's other teams that we've been predicting to win 5 games who have rosters that are no better than the Patriots, who are also bad at quarterback, who will definitely be bad at.
That's what I'm saying. I just think the Browns are going to win 5 games, dude.
Yeah, we were talking about the Browns winning 6 games, and I understand they have Myles Garrett, but like they are bad at quarterback. They're going to be. We're talking about how many QBs will they start during the season. That does not inspire confidence at all. We're not doing that with the Patriots. The Patriots. Okay. What step of the rebuild are the Patriots in? At least step 2 or 3. There's many teams out here who are on step 1 or potentially 0 if we want to be really negative.
Yeah.
Theo, you said the Steelers might be worse than the Browns. Do you think the Patriots are better than the Steelers?
Not really. I think the Patriots are a bad roster, dude. I just think that the offensive line stinks. The wide receivers are one of the worst. And I think the defense is going to be a below average pressure rate team. And I think the secondary is good, but the linebackers are really rough. And I just think overall, this is going to be a team picking in the top 10 again. Like, I like May, but I think it's going to be a not his fault year for him. I really do. I really think they've got a bunch of the same receiver. Like Diggs is, last time we saw Diggs, he was still quick. He could still get open underneath and stuff. But now he's torn his ACL, and is he going to be, a 3-level scorer? I think Kyle Williams is quick. Like we saw his twitchiness, like you said, Matt, and he can catch stuff and turn up field. And I think he's going to be a real weapon on screens and slants and stuff. But, May is somebody who plays like Josh Allen, and May is somebody who wants to really, get out of structure and flex a little bit. And I just don't think they have the receiving core to support him right now. And I don't think that they have the line to support him either. Like I'm still seeing Garrett Bradbury. I'm still seeing like Cole Strange. I'm still seeing Will Campbell, who's a rookie. And
I'm sorry. I don't know if I agree that Kyle Williams cannot be a deep threat. I completely disagree. I think one of my favorite things about Kyle Williams is that he is somebody who has the physical speed and tools of a deep threat and combines it with like pretty good nuance and pretty good ball tracking. I mean, he averaged, I'm looking up now, 17 yards a reception last year. That's not something that somebody who isn't a deep threat is doing, unless they're the greatest yak player of all time, in which case, with him and Henderson, it will be freaky deaky regardless.
Maybe. I just think teams are going to play man against them and be pretty successful.
They might play a lot of man, but like, I think, and maybe part of this is I'm looking at a situation last year that was just like so horrifically bad. And I was like, well, it's better than that. But like, dude, it's so much better. Like, Diggs and Kyle Williams are infinitely better than like Kendrick Bourne and Kayshon Boutte. I know I'm sitting here being like, marketing Kayshon Boutte as like the wide receiver one for the Patriots last year. I know he wasn't, but like that's like the caliber of players that they were working with. And I do think that this weapons group is a significant upgrade with Henderson. And I do think Campbell, like, even though he's a rookie, I think he's really freaking good.
I think I get behind the offensive line fear. I don't know if I agree so much that the defensive line will be like super bad or anything. I actually think that's.
I think
the last time that we saw a full
defending unit.
Dude, I mean, I think White, Barmore, Williams, Landry is pretty good. They're lacking like a true crazy outside threat, of course, but like there's more to it than that.
There's more to it than that. I just think all of those guys are better specialists against the run than the pass. And I think in terms of like getting pressure rushing for, that's soundly a below average pass rush.
Maybe. I guess. But then the secondary is good. So it kind of works out. They do need like another star on defense, I feel like.
Yeah, Barmore coming back and being like a great pass rusher again would be nice. I don't think he came back from a heart issue at the end of last year. Mm-hmm. And I was really impressed with his run defense when he came back, but I didn't see a bunch of pass rushers.
That starts to get into really teeny tiny sample size, though.
He was probably taking it easy too,
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I guess with him, we'll see, because I've always been high. I loved him coming out of Alabama, and he had an 8.5 sack season in 2023. So maybe I'm underrating his impact and just going into like kind of what I saw at the return of last year. But they sucked so bad rushing the passer last year. They were. I mean, Keon White accounted for almost half their total pressure.
Okay,
Keon White is not like a top.
Okay. Keon White accounted for almost everything of their starting offensive line. Who else from last year is there? Nobody. It's all different guys. It's Landry and Milton Williams, who was good rushing the passer, and Barmore. Like it should be a night and day different. If anything is going to improve on the Patriots team, it will be their defensive line greatly. There's some risk of Barmore if he's got a heart issue, like maybe he's never 100% back for it. But like last time we really saw him in any significant sample size, he was like Pro Bowl pushing for all pro level of good. He was a great player. Maybe that's a little strong for like, he's not first team all, but he was very good. Like it genuinely, I'd say like he's pushing for top 10 at his position.
Yeah.
Williams, look, I understand like the Eagles' defensive line is awesome, so that probably helps somewhat, but he was key.
He's really good. He was key. He was super key. He was super key, but he was super key as somebody who is getting nothing but one-on-ones because Jalen Carter is such a force, and he had 5 sacks last year.
That's why. That's why Barmore's there, man.
We'll see. I don't know. They have a high ceiling for sure. They have a lot of players that, like, Stephon Diggs could be like. I don't think Stephon Diggs was playing bad for the Texans at all before he tore his ACL.
No, he was still good.
It's just that he's torn his ACL now. So and May could go new. I like May a lot. So if things start to, if these players hit their best case scenarios, a lot can fall into place quickly. I just think that they have a lot of ifs compared to other teams. And if
they didn't, we'd have him at 12 wins.
We'd have him at 12 wins, I guess. I don't know. I think they're still going to pick in the top 10. I'm not convinced on this roster.
I mean, if they get to pick in the top 10 again, then they get another superstar player, and then they will win 12 games next year.
Bang.
Bang.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. They're on the right track. I just think that it's going to be more of a slow burn.
I think your biggest issue is your heart is not open to Kyle Williams, and if it was,
I think so too. I think
a little
so
bit
too.
Differently.
I
truly think he will be very good.
I hope so. He's the greatest catch and transition upfield guy maybe I've ever seen. So
he has sick hands. He's just a good player.
He is.
And also they've got Mac Hollins, who is
my guy.
He's been he's hilarious for that dude. Honestly, I love those videos.
He's so funny, dude.
He is a true original.
So Theo, where do you have the Patriots finishing in this division? I have them second also.
I don't know, because I think all the non-Bills teams completely suck.
I don't entirely agree with that.
What team do you think doesn't completely? Well, I guess the Patriots.
Outside of
completely suck.
I don't think the Patriots completely suck. I mean, these are teams that I'm picking to win 7-8 games. I also don't think the Dolphins completely suck. The Jets, I think, are pretty bad. The Jets, I think, are. I didn't realize how bad I thought the Jets were until I started thinking. I'm like, oh my god, dude, it might be rough. We can actually get into the Jets right now. Why not?
Let's do it. Let's talk about the Jets. Why do you think the Jets are completely ruined?
Okay, well, first off, most importantly, their plan at quarterback is completely unserious. Justin Fields is who Justin Fields is. Yeah. You can talk to me all about how he affects the run game, and I don't disagree. He really is one of the best running quarterbacks in the NFL, but his limitation on the offense.
Have a good year.
He can be fantasy relevant, but we know what he is at this point. He's played an entire rookie contract, and we didn't see any growth last year. He got benched for Russell Wilson. He just cannot see the field well. He cannot push the ball down the field outside of go balls down the sideline or whatever.
Yeah, that aren't really accurate.
It means that you'll be running a very, very limited offense. On top of that, the receiver depth outside of Garrett Wilson is atrocious. They've got leftover Rodgers buddies out here. This is not.
Hey, Alan Lazard said this was the most talented receiver room he'd ever been a part of.
He's just lying.
Why did he lie,
It's
dude?
obviously not true.
Lying straight through.
He played isn't it basically the same room as last year, but no Devontae Adams?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
they got Josh Reynolds,
and they got Tyler Johnson.
Shout out.
But
they got Arian Smith, the Georgia legend.
So I mean, I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could look at this passing game and say anything other than it's going to be really bad. It's Garrett Wilson, obviously, I think is really good, and I love him, but it's getting into not his fault territory, and he's not somebody who's so crazy dominant that it's going to completely change the math on what should be a bottom 5 passing attack. Truly, it should be. I don't think there's definitely. On top
I don't see why not. I mean, they would have to.
I think their run game can have a certain amount of juice, but they fall into a category of, real low ceiling, hopefully high floor offense if they lean on the run a ton. And even then, Fashanu wasn't dominant last year or anything. Mimbo is an unknown. So they still have some questions there. I don't think it's a completely talentless unit or anything, but we'll see.
If there's reason to hope, you'd hope it can look a little bit like what Philly did last year, where it's their rushing game is so good that they just see way more man coverage than you'd ever expect, and Garrett Wilson just has a crazy year. Like, that is the path. Like, the boxes are constantly loaded, and they can still run the ball because Holland and Allen is a great 1-2 punch. The line is actually great, and Fields adds to it, right? So they're stacking the box, they're still running the ball, and Garrett Wilson is beating the man.
True, but there's another issue that first off, you need some things to break your way to even get to like a passing offense that, again, I just don't think will be good. And second off, like Fields being like, we're just going to spam run him, he's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got 17 games in him of like the entire offense is built around you being a rushing threat against stacked boxes. That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
He doesn't have Jalen Hurts for him, and Jalen Hurts got hurt doing basically that, right?
Mm-hmm. And Jalen Hurts is so much more accurate, and like
it's and
trying to like aggregate,
and also,
that's
the offensive line veterans, also the running back,
and they have Devontae Smith to draw attention, right? Yeah.
It would be the most diet.
It would have to be very diet. I mean, you can see the things that are good about the Jets offense seem familiar to me, and we've seen it work at a high level recently, right? Like that's what I'm getting at. But like you said, it's diet, and like Matt said, I'm just not one of those people who still has hope for Fields. I never did have much hope for him, even at Ohio State, right? And it just has never gotten any better. So
you were supposed to have hope and be incorrect, by the way.
Hey, you like Trey Lance more, and you were wrong. So.
That was a rough draft class.
That was.
You could have faded any quarterback,
and you would have been right.
Yeah.
Fade everyone, including Trevor Lawrence, and your. But Trevor Lawrence,
that being the first draft class I ever scouted did me so bad because I was like, you can just fade quarterbacks and be right like the majority of the time. And so since then, I've been like, we could just put quarterbacks like way down these big boards, and then it's like,
which is like
Daniels.
It's like and like that's true, and it is good to keep in mind like we always get overhyped on the quarterbacks in the rookie class, but at the same time it is like saying what the lottery numbers won't be. It's like, right, you're kind of just playing the odds, and it isn't really that helpful.
Yeah. Anyway,
regardless,
what about the defense
issue,
though?
The defense does not look that good to me on paper. No. First off, is their pass rush going to be significantly better? I mean, Jermaine Johnson's coming off of
an Achilles.
And that to me is what could improve their pass rush. I mean, that's an insane hope to have, right? That he's just going to come back off an Achilles and be like a total game changer right away. I mean, he's a good player, and it can be better as the year goes on, but that makes me really nervous, especially when there's no more DJ Reed. That's a massive loss.
They replaced him with Brandon Stevens.
Dude, so now it's like they have a bad cornerback 2 situation, and if the pressure is still questionable, like that's going to go very poorly, I think. And Aaron Glenn, if he wants to run a bunch of man, dude, it could get ugly. And I don't, not to take a shot at Aaron Glenn at all, but I don't think we had the Jets in our top 10 defense ranking. I don't even think they were like really a discussion, if I remember correctly. I think that bodes poorly for what their outlook is, if also we're talking about them being one of the more limited offenses in the NFL.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think
so. The path is Sauce is just the GOAT.
It doesn't even. He could be the GOAT. It wouldn't matter.
Or Quinnen Williams. I mean, they still were 9th in adjusted sack rate last year, which is crazy to me because it just did not feel like they were winning one-on-ones at all.
Sure.
I guess the hopium for this group is just that like Aaron Glenn has a lot of heart. Like, no joke. And that could be true because I thought the Lions were cooked after the Hutchinson injury. I was like, there is just no way that they can continue to get pressure without Hutchinson. And they did. Their defense was like ranked higher after the Hutchinson injury in EPA. It was crazy. And Glenn just seemed to like be willing it. Like he was blitzing, he was playing man. And the way they were playing man, I thought was interesting because they were just so good at passing things off to the help in the middle of the field. Like when you play man, unless it's a cover zero blitz where literally everybody is rushing, when you play man, you do have some help as a corner in the middle of the field, whether it be the safety or whether it be the linebackers. And I think some of the ways they were able to kind of play with that and even fully pass things off like it's zone in man coverages were pretty impressive. And the Jets really lacked heart last year. I mean, Jeff Ulbrich was a bad defensive play caller, like noticeably. They led the league in defensive penalties. Mm-hmm. So maybe like you guys have rooted for a lot of terrible teams. There have been times when the teams have had no heart, and then the teams have been bad with heart.
Dude, this is the least like hopeful segment we've had for a team like basically all year. They're gonna be like scrappy. We can't pass, but we're gonna run really hard with Justin Fields on offense, and we're going to have heart on defense. Come on,
dude. Run game and heart.
Look, okay.
It's 2025.
That is real football right now.
In 1960.
Look, here's what I'll say positively about the Jets. I do think they have like some good building blocks. I don't think they're like totally hopeless. Like Quinnen Williams is a total beast. Sauce Gardner, we had him in our top 30 players. I love Garrett Wilson. I don't think the offensive line is like a disaster or anything. There's some things that you could leave this team, leave this next season with saying, okay, this unit's pretty good and these guys are pretty good and we just got to build around them. It's more about filling out than it is like finding our top dogs, and that's a good thing. But I think their outlook for next year is just not great. It's just not great. And I think Aaron Glenn was a good hire. I don't have any issue with that, but I do think the reality of the roster is the reality of the roster. And while I appreciate the thought that like maybe he can overcome it to some level, I'm not walking with the expectation that like Fields is playing 17 games and Aaron Glenn will rah the guys. Not to say it's all rah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean
that's what he's.
If he's Brian Flores, and is able to like get magic out of like that one Dolphins defense that was just an absolute disaster, but somehow ended up being kind of good, then maybe. But yeah, I mean. The Lions, man. He did it last year, I guess. So maybe there is a world. And like they've got good linebackers, just like the Lions. They've got a good corner. They've got a good.
They do.
Like I don't know. They've got some good players, but I think I'm agreeing with Matt here that this is the worst team in the division.
Yeah, I think so too. I guess I think so too. Maybe the line can show up and be like the best in the league if
there's more paths here than like maybe the Browns.
Mm-hmm. I was about to say. Do you think this is the worst team in the NFL?
No, I don't think it's the worst team in the NFL.
Their line is 6.5.
That's not worst team in the NFL.
No,
that's in line with Carolina. I'm pretty sure.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
That's sick stuff.
After Tet's debut, we're moving that line up to 10.5.
We're moving it way up. There you go. You're starting to get it.
10.5.
He's starting to get it.
You're starting to become a good guy.
They're basically.
You guys want to talk about the Dolphins?
Yeah, let's do it.
The Miami Dolphins.
Go ahead, Blade. Go ahead.
I was talking to a Dolphins fan who he thinks it's just like totally over. Like I was saying like I was telling him I was like, yeah, I think the Patriots are going to be like kind of good this year, and he's like, oh yeah, like the Dolphins are done. The Patriots are back again. They're going to be okay. But yeah, he's just like doesn't believe in any aspect of this team anymore. With his like injury stuff, he's like when he's healthy he's good, but he just like can't stay on the field at this point. And he just doesn't really buy into the defense right now. He didn't like the trade, the Ramsey Fitzpatrick swap, because now they're.
It is hilarious. They traded away a corner.
It's like
I'm not even mad. I don't even think the trade was bad. It's just so funny they traded.
Their corners are so bad, dude.
Ramsey did demand the trade.
That's true. That's true.
Their corners,
But
it
is
It is
it's
hilarious.
the premise. It's
Storm
like they're
Duck is the best corner.
cornerback like one, dude. Like it's not gonna be good. And I don't think that almost you cannot be as bad as they're probably going to be at corner. They need something huge to happen for them for it not to be like season and defense ruin.
Chop needs to be Von Miller.
The defensive line it's a little bit more interesting. It's a lot more interesting, obviously. I like Chop. We really like. They're getting Chubb back. Maybe Phillips stays healthy. You have Sealer, and you're bringing in Kenneth Grant. Like, and I like Kenneth Grant. Like, their defensive line could end up being very good. There's a lot of room for like how much does Chop break out? Yeah, how much does Chop break out? How much does Chubb come? Like there's a ton of question marks, but there's enough there where I'm like, yeah, I think the defensive line could be good. But and Brooks they still have, right? So it's like it's not a talentless defense, but I just don't think you can be as bad at corner as they're going to be. I just don't think that's going to fly, and I think it pretty severely limits how good the defense could be, barring like the defensive line being completely unbelievable.
We could put Jordan Brooks at corner. That might work.
Might be able to do it. Man, I'm really fascinated to see this defense. Yes, the corner is terrible, but they're also like, I think, very good through the spine now with their line and Brooks and Minka. And I guess just watching the Vikings last year and watching the Packers trying to beat them, the Vikings had really weak corners last year too. Like Gilmore and Griffin. The thought was like, man, just pick on them guys. Like, just throw it to them. Like, who do they have out there that can guard our guys? Like, it should be easy. And it just wasn't for any team. And the Vikings had the second best defense in the league. And I'm wondering, is there a way where they can kind of mask that problem with like quarters and the guys just kind of playing off? And the only way to really exploit them is, by kind of throwing hitches and hope they miss a tackle while the like pass rush is really good and they're doing interesting things in like the sim game. And, this is the one team in the division maybe that the Bills just can't like run on automatically or something like that. The defense, it might just be the corners just get torched and they allow, 5,000 passing yards next year. Maybe that is what happens. But I'm interested to see how they finagle how they mask that weakness and if they can do it in any kind of way. Like the Vikings did last year. I don't know, though. I don't know. Storm Duck Corner 1 is...
It's insane.
Tough to scheme away.
He has a cool name, at least.
Storm Duck. I don't know if I'd want to be named Storm Duck.
No?
No. I think I'm good with Theo Ash.
Is Storm Duck like his legal name, or is it like a nickname?
I'm sure it's a nickname.
It is.
Nope, it's his legal name.
Storm Chandler Duck.
Oh man.
Interesting.
I don't know. There are a lot of guys coming off of pretty big injuries for the defensive line still.
Yeah. And they lost Calais Campbell, who was actually like a dog last year. You can be excited about Kenneth Grant for sure, but he still might be a downgrade as a rookie. Like Calais Campbell was awesome last year, and probably should have talked about him more during the Cardinals episode, because if he plays like he did last year, that's actually like a huge...
I brought him up. I said something about him.
Good. He wasn't too different than like Cam Hayward. Like, honestly, he batted a bunch of passes. Like
What is with the Cam Hayward hate?
This is not Cam Hayward hate. I'm saying like Calais Campbell is the other old dominating defensive tackle, and he's even older. He wasn't perhaps as dominant, but he had like a brilliant season last year.
He's awesome, man. Did I pick
You picked the Cardinals to win the NFC West.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm feeling, frankly, like I was bringing up the Stafford injury stuff, and like I shouldn't victory lap about this. We're cutting this out. But
you basically are already
worried. I'm worried about the back pretty bad, honestly. I know Stafford's like battled through it so far, but there's gonna come a time, and he's already like his mobility's way down. I'm nervous about the Rams staying healthy. They're a threat if they do, but I'm nervous about it. Speaking of
Jimmy G goes to the Super Bowl again in the McVay scheme. You're shaking your head.
Speaking of injury-prone quarterbacks, brings us to the other side of the ball.
Yeah.
With the Dolphins, with Tua. I'm pretty worried about that as well. I mean, if Tua goes down again, and he is among the most injury-prone players in the entire NFL, if he goes down again, the season's entirely shot. His career could be shot off of another concussion, obviously, like anyone at this point. I don't know if I trust the offensive line significantly more than I did last year. They've added a little bit to the inside, so we'll see if that can maybe help them bring some level of inside run game, but I'm not counting on it. And frankly, I'm a little worried about Tyreek Hill as well. I don't think it's impossible that, he kind of returns to form, but he is getting older, and he's a guy who relies on being very fast. And I think statistically, like even the advanced stats, we're seeing a downtick. And I've heard maybe some not super great things like Waddle is wide receiver 1 out of camp. And Waddle's a great player, so that's not the end of the world. But Tyreek being like an MVP vote getting receiver was part of what made the Dolphins as good as they were. And I wonder if even some type of downtick in that receiving room kind of just changes things for them. And it makes, it's not that they might not have the best passing offense, even with a healthy Tua.
Yeah, the offense
Just a weird team.
is weird to talk about because we've seen them reach such incredible heights. And last year was such a disaster. And you'd feel just like, we've said this for a lot of teams, and it's a lame explanation, but it's proven to be true, is a lot of times things just kind of bounce back and forth and things regress to the mean, right? And we've talked about the Browns defense going from, unbelievably great to regressing, and why that means you can expect it to, bounce back and land somewhere in the middle this time around. It feels like that should be true for the Dolphins. It should be true for the Dolphins.
But things also change so quickly in the NFL while that happens. And so like in between like them being an awesome offense and them being, what they were like last year, guys get older or guys leave,
And then there's the Tua of it all, where it legitimately feels like this offense was good at one thing, and teams are just literally putting people in the places that the Dolphins like to throw to. And it's kind of just throwing them out of whack. Like the amount they see cover 2 compared to other offenses is astronomical. It's astronomical. Because they get to jam guys off the line of scrimmage, right? It disrupts the timing that Tua cares about so much, and it puts somebody like a linebacker right smack dab in the middle of the field to maybe lurk. Or you can play invert Tampa, which it gives them even more problems, where a safety becomes that middle player too. It throws it right to him, right? That coverage has caused major issues for the Dolphins. And Tua's head injuries, I think, have made him and the play calling more conservative. I mean, the deep shots.
I think that's unquestionable.
Yeah,
unquestionable.
Close.
So what's going to change? Like, they should bounce back. Statistically, that's usually what happens. But with the personnel they've got, like, it almost feels like a permanent spiral with what they're at with Tua in his head. Like, he just can't take hits. And when you can't take hits, you got to get the ball out fast. Like, it's good to get the ball out fast. You want to get the ball out of your hands, but the Dolphins get rid of the ball too fast. Like, I truly think they get rid of the ball like way too fast, and they don't.
It's operating on like machine level. There's no human aspect to this offense.
Yeah,
anymore, almost
totally.
And but they have Darren Waller now, so everything is.
I kind of like that. The Darren Waller signing intrigues me. I'm excited to see him.
He's going to get a lot of screen work, I'd bet.
His last few games with the Giants, like, he was moving well. He didn't do very much because he's on the Giants offense in 2023.
The thing about the Dolphins offense, though, is like I don't even think that it's necessarily like straight up bad. I just think it's probably not what it once was. And I think there's some easy ways to imagine where it's still a significant step back, but it's not like a total disaster. We're talking about it really negatively right now because it used to be, it was like, what, the number 1 passing offense in the entire NFL?
Right, Tua was like
or whatever.
Just the most efficient quarterback by a mile.
And it feels like the path for them to be like competitive again is to get back to that. And I just don't like love the odds of that. I just don't love what they've done and where the team is headed right now. And I think there's too many ways to imagine that doesn't happen. But I do think between the defensive line potentially being really good and, like you said, the spine of the defense, and between like still having the potential to have a really great passing game, even if there's some weirdo limitations, I still do see this as like a team that's competing 8-9 wins in that range, maybe 7-8, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm. And even if the passing offense is perhaps doomed to keep repeating the same mistakes, I do believe that the rushing offense, there are some pretty easy fixes for. And drafting the big Arizona guard, whose last name I'm not going to try to pronounce.
Their rushing offense was just terrible.
Just terrible, right? Just terrible. And I think a lot of that had to do with just they wouldn't run between the tackles. Like there was always some kickoff style, like toss play that ended up just getting predictable. And these lateral run schemes have more potential to lose yardage because people are just naturally spending more time behind the line of scrimmage and they're farther behind the line of scrimmage. And the blocking was just awful. So I could see them, with Ollie Gordon in the fold and some of their draft picks and just basic, what else would you work on this offseason if not that?
There was a 9-game stretch where Tua was healthy consistently, and they were 5th in passing EPA, and they were 1st in dropback success rate.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we're underselling their offense a little bit. Like it is a question if Tua stays healthy, and I honestly think it's so questionable that it's fair to dock them wins for that and kind of play the odds a little bit. True.
No, that's
and maybe there's some chance that Tyreek is taking such a significant step back that it truly affects the offense. But if you had to bet money right now, would this offense be above or below league average?
I guess I'd
for
say
the entire season.
Oh yeah, overall. I think I'd say above.
I might agree with you.
I think I'd say it's dang close. If you told me that Tua was going to stay healthy, then I'd say above. If you think there's going to be any improvement in the run game and Tua is going to stay healthy, then you have to be a little bit. But the thing is that I really don't have any faith in Tua to stay healthy.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I think they're going to be below 16th. Okay. But I think they still might be the most efficient offense in the division. So
it's possible.
Maybe I'll still have them second. I just cannot find it within myself to get that excited. Like I said,
I think for a team that I think there's a good case to make for the Dolphins, I guess. But there are some really, really big question marks here, and it's tough to imagine everything breaking their way.
Yeah, it is tough to imagine. And maybe I'm thinking too much about like their losses in big games and their failure to make the playoffs, right? They've never failed to be like in the hunt. Even last year they were in the hunt, and McDaniel was doing an awful job. And they were still in the hunt. I like their defensive coordinator, and I do like McDaniel's overall like ideas. I just think
what is it? Well, hold on. What does their strength of schedule look like? That might matter more for the Dolphins and literally
it's 25th hardest, which means it's one of the easiest, right?
Right.
Yeah. I'll put them at second. I think they can be in the hunt again, but I don't quite see them as a playoff team.
Like, I might join you.
Yeah, I'll go them second. I'll say
like they play the
Jets,
Panthers,
Patriots, so we don't all have the same order.
Fair enough. I'll join you. And they're playing Panthers week 5. I can tell you right now, I do not like Carolina's odds in that game. That's
you think Tyreek Hill is looking a little bit like his old self?
He's going to have a vintage.
Yeah,
you're going to want to trade Tyreek Hill on October 7th. I can tell you that right now.
Sounds good. I will. They'll have that slow guy from the preseason game who can tackle on him. 31.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
He had such a great tackle in that game. That one where the guy tried to hurdle him and he caught him and like slammed him down.
Yes.
Awesome.
His name is slipping me, but yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about.
The broadcaster's like, he's slow, but he plays the game the right way. That's who they're gonna have that guy on Tyreek Hill.
They're gonna have that guy on Tyreek Hill. Yeah, I'm feeling like 7 or 8 games for the Dolphins and probably 7 or 8 games for the Patriots. But I just like the Patriots more. Like opinion, like I enjoy the Patriots more. So I'm gonna pick them to win it. Not to win it, to be second, and I'll take the Dolphins third and the Jets last. Such a wonky division.
It's just why is this division always like this? There's one team that is sick. And then the other 3 just do not have their shit together whatsoever. Like it's hard for every other division. It's like the AFC North. No one's won that like 3 times in a row ever.
Yeah.
And that's true for a lot of divisions where there's a lot of turnover. Like in the NFC East, teams don't even go back to back. And then in this division, it's just like all Patriots and then all Bills. It's very strange.
It was all Patriots for like 20 years.
Yes, exactly. And now it's all Bills for 20 years. Like, unless Josh Allen's arm falls off his body, which he does have some like joint problems in his arm that flare up from time to time. But
it'll probably still stay attached.
It'll stay attached in 2025, I'd have to imagine.
He has joint problems, so it falls off.
That would be crazy.
Dude, that would be insane.
The Josh Allen AC joint is like that one Death Star, like tunnel.
It's the exhaust port.
It is the Josh Allen AC.
Josh Allen's the Death Star. The Stormtroopers are Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman in the exhaust.
If he's the Death Star, would the Stormtroopers be like his cells?
Because they're in the Death Star.
They're in the Death Star.
It'd be like bacteria and what?
It'd be the probiotics that he's taking before the game.
If he's the Death Star, I think that's true.
I think so.
And then the other players are like other Sith-controlled planets.
Those are
yeah,
other strategic outposts for
who's the emperor in this scenario.
The Emperor.
Not sure. It really starts to fall apart.
I think his brain, maybe, like kind of the leadership of the Death Star. Okay. And then the rebels are, I guess, the cells in Quinnen Williams' body.
Or the cells.
And Quinnen Williams himself is like Yavin, where the base was.
Quinnen Williams. Drake May is Yavin. And
yeah.
But, all right. So that's the AFC East for you guys. Do you guys have anything else do you want to talk about before we get out of here?
I don't like the phrase "nothing ever happens." I think a more accurate phrase is "something always happens."
That's just the opposite.
Exactly. Well, something does always happen. You know, if we're thinking about it literally, something does always happen. Things can't. It's almost impossible for nothing to happen. I think the "nothing ever happens" meme is discounting a lot of the things that happen in this world. They're just like,
yeah, I think there's a lot of times I understand where it's coming from, where like oftentimes people freak out about things and then it doesn't quite turn out to be the worst case scenario. But a lot of times like something happens and then it's just not immediately apparent the effect that it's going to have, and being like nothing ever happens. It's like, no, I think something may have just happened. But
yes,
it didn't blow up your house in 1 second, you know?
Things are happening.
Things are happening.
And in the NFL, like things, in this context, like things do happen. Something always happens. But people always say nothing ever happens. I want to make a new cult.
What I was going to say, what is the current nothing ever happens thing that people...
Well, like Micah holding out. But that is already something happening. But people say like, oh, nothing ever happens. You will never get traded. And maybe he won't.
But they're saying specifically like the big thing won't happen there.
The big thing won't happen. But I think eventually nothing.
I want it to happen just so that those people are.
Sometimes big trades happen.
Sometimes big trades happen. And it even if nothing ever happens, I would think like Micah would have been signed long ago. I just have to imagine that the nothing ever happens is about to get dealt a blow. They're due to lose, whether it be like a Trey Hendrickson retirement or a Micah Parsons trade.
Trey Hendrickson retirement would be insane.
I just feel like we're due for maybe we're not, because the counter is nothing ever happens, and all of these guys could easily be signed. But
what was the craziest move that happened this offseason?
Christian Wilkins, Travis Hunter trade up.
Yeah.
Geno getting traded.
Maybe.
Those are probably my big things.
Nothing ever happens, but like things do happen. They only say that when something like big doesn't happen.
Right.
So it's like something didn't happen this time.
Yes. Things don't happen the way Twitter speculates, which is a very different thing than nothing. Anyway, I just have to get that off my chest. I know that I have said nothing ever happens on this show in regards to some
But you didn't
situation.
mean it. Obviously, it was a joke.
Obviously, it's a joke. And sometimes you say things as a joke, like the Herbert hypothetical things and like Michael Thomas slant boy. Like, I thought we were all joking and having a good time. And then it turns out like a good portion of the population, like 100% believes these things like in deep in their soul. I'm like, wait, I thought we were just like saying things, but
yeah,
apparently not.
Apparently not. Yeah, like
That's
I had to go to war with people about that Anthony Richardson sack. They're like, no, dude, it's like the play calling. It's the offensive line.
Top tier discourse.
I'm just
Dude,
like, all right.
Anthony Richardson.
He set the protection.
He
He set the protection left, and then when a free rusher comes right, he's like shocked.
Did I
What?
not say this in the AFC South episode that his biggest problem isn't necessarily accuracy as much as it is holding the ball versus the blitz and taking a ton of contact? That's
You may have. We cut it out.
We cut it out. Yeah, man.
fuck. Whatever.
We cut it out. We said it was too good of a point.
They're like, why should he expect pressure to come like unblocked? Why didn't they have the running back stay in? I'm like, because he's supposed to be a freak athlete, dude. Like, he's supposed to be the guy that, like, you're supposed to know that you're supposed to know when you're hot. You're supposed to either make the throw quickly or make the guy miss. Like, that's why you were taken top 5.
Last year, he would have been blitzed. There would have been 2 people out in the route, and they would have been running, 50 yards down the field, and he would have gotten sacked. This preseason, there's a blitz. There's 5 out in the route, right? I said that I know that I said this last episode.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what it looks like with like more quick game, like more options for him to get to quickly.
And it was literally a quick play design.
Yes, it was snag. It was literally snag to the side of the blitz. He didn't see it. He like and he stared at that read that was covered for so long, that out for
and
so long.
it's like and I don't even think he was like, he made the wrong call to like set the protection left, right? Based on like the look of the defense. I'm like, I see what he was like looking for, but then like the read that he had wasn't there. You need to adjust, and he just didn't.
Yeah, no,
he just froze.
Yeah, maybe the back should have blocked him or something, but I don't think so. I will say also,
that wasn't his responsibility.
I'm out on Adonai Mitchell.
Really?
Adonai Mitchell. Yeah, I'm totally out.
Why?
He's just not a good route runner, like people think that he is. Like, he's got a lot of ability within his body to run routes and be an athlete, but they just happen all at his own pace. And like, there was a play in that last preseason game. They're on like the 15-yard line. Daniel Jones throws him a fade. He's nowhere near where the ball lands because he went off script to run a double move, and he always runs a double move. He runs a double move. I saw a tweet that has lived in my head since I saw it, where they said, I've never seen Adonai Mitchell get open deep that's not on a double move. And I was like, he does run a lot. And that's just stuck in my head when I've watched it. It's always a double move. Why was he running a double move on the 15-yard line? Like, you can literally see the corner and off coverage. Like, look at him being like, I'm just going to keep protecting the goal line.
Yeah.
And then he's just there. And clearly Daniel Jones wasn't expecting the double move. And just with all the routes he runs, like, I feel like the quarterback needs to take a hitch to throw to Adonai Mitchell, because like, he's just doing it.
He can't ever be like the first option, get the ball out quick.
He's the second option. When he has time to play with as the second read, things can work a little bit better, but like that's a very specific type of thing when
this is why I hate those one-on-one like clips that go viral where it's like, and because you sit here and I'm just like, just count, right? And it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just like, sack, dude. Like these routes are too long.
Yeah, I think he runs routes like that in the real game. Like,
that's funny.
I think I like Ashton Doolin more. That's my podcast.
Ashton Doolin.
Why not just start giving love to Josh Downs? It's so much easier.
I like Josh Downs a lot more than I like.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about who's winning the wide receiver 4 role. I might rather have Doolin, dude.
This is good for Treadwell's making the roster.
Dude, this is insane for Treadwell. You have no idea.
Well, they're both better than you.
Hey, now, don't. I've got Treadwell's jersey for a reason. He's the GOAT.
He's a beast.
Every jersey that I have is of a good football player. That is true.
Shout out.
But
that's all I got.
That's all you got. Thank you all so much for tuning in to another episode of Stay Hot. As always, from your favorite 3 fellas here, we like to talk about ball sometimes. And as always, until next time, we will catch you on the flippity flop.